Hi guys, Lisa here, Christy. I don't know which side of the screen she'll be on here, and we're here to talk to you guys about getting started or getting restarted. If you've been doing this for a minute and you kind of took a seat back and kind of took a break, that's okay. We can get you started back, but for anyone on the team that has just started or you've been taking the products for a while and you've never thought about the business, this is the training for you. This is what you need to get you going, to how to take those first steps, how to follow up, and to have a successful business if that's what you're wanting. So, all right. So we're going to let Christy start sharing about finances.
Yes. Okay, guys. So we're going to start with why Plexus. Okay, why? Because, I mean, just consider this. In the United States alone, we are the most unhealthy country in the world. Y'all, we have products that are changing lives, and it's literally the perfect storm with, health and wellness and what we have to offer. Like, y'all, there's nothing more powerful than having something that can help people, and in the process is something that's also consumable monthly. Like, we have products that people need monthly, and it's not like, just getting makeup randomly once, every 3 months or once a year. You have monthly consumable products that are changing lives.
That's huge. And there's nothing wrong with bags and makeup, but that's a great point, Christy, is that these are things that everybody needs. If you have skin, if you have a gut, if you have a body, you're kicking around and living, you need these products from babies to older. Everybody needs these products. So, and I love that it's monthly consumable as well.
And also the fact that, it's just so easy as far as like, if you have someone that is, struggling with headaches, what I do is look for testimonies. It's easy to search for things like Plexus headaches, Plexus, high blood pressure. There's so many easy ways just to find out how to help people with what we have to offer. And our products not only, just are great in general, but they actually get to the root of issues. Oh, and also 2%, like basically the population only 2% has heard of Plexus. You are really, still in the early stages of our company. So now is the time to really just start reaching out to people, because if you don't share with them, someone else is definitely going to. And network marketing is one of the fastest business models. And I might be a little bit biased, but I think it is the best, most amazing opportunity. And you will see that along your journey also. Oh, and the cool thing about it too is you are the face of Plexus. A lot of companies, they'll use, movie stars or big time athletes. Our company is able to help, compensate us really well, because we are the face of Plexus. And also the fact that we're real people, people love you, they know you. You get to be that. You get to help people and show them what the products have done for you, and people that that you can relate to, you can share their stories as well. And I love that. Oh, the cool thing too is the fact that, what other business can you start for, $9.95 or $34.95? Because sometimes we have specials, but where else can you, it costs thousands of dollars, y'all, to start businesses, hundreds of thousands for some, but it really is just so doable. You basically are your own boss, which is really cool. The fact that you can set your schedule, you can work it around the nooks and crannies of your family life. Nothing is set in stone. It's just the simple daily, steps that you take to reach your goals. And basically too, like Lisa, I know you probably can relate. Like, I didn't have any idea of how to do this business. But that was the fun part. That was, digging into everything, finding, okay, like there's trainings, there's always going to be a training for y'all. Corporate does trainings, team trainings, YouTubes, there's so many resources that you can dig into and just learn as you go, which is cool because you earn as you go. So And whatever amount of work you put into your business, you're going to get out of it. I love that there are three main things I want you to think of: drive, consistency, and passion. If you have all three things, that will take you to the top of this company if that's what you want and desire. Our comp plan is just, so generous. Our company is debt free, which is huge. And like I said, they're so generous to us and able to, put so much towards their investors because they don't have like this big overhead, and they don't have to pay these, movie stars and sports athletes that are asking for so much that have no idea what the products are even about.
And I'll say this real quick. Most of us probably already have a profession, or we have a degree, or we have a skill set that we have been doing for a long time. And, people come to me and say, well, I'm not a salesperson. And my response is, great. That's what I want. I'm not a salesperson either. Neither is Christy. I was trained as a nurse, and some people are trained as teachers, and some people are trained as, to be a baker, or whatever it is. And so the great thing about this, as Christy said, is that you can do this and earn as you go. You can earn as you learn, they say. And so you can come into this completely unaware of what it takes. But if you trust us, you trust the person that shared this with you, that is something that is a relationship that you can build on, and they'll walk you through it one day at a time. And that's how you have to look at it. You can't look at school, as a kindergartner about graduating. You have to do kindergarten and then first grade. So you take one step at a time.
Exactly. The cool thing too is we get paid so many different ways, and basically 5 times a month. We get paid whatever work you do during the month, you get paid the following month. By the 15th. Sometimes they're pretty awesome, and like if there's a holiday or something falling around it, they will pay us early, but no later than the 15th of the following month you will get paid. Also get paid for business building bonuses. Those are paid out by every Friday. And basically you just rank up by building a team. So you'll have, and if you want to have that residual and that financial freedom, you're going to want to build a team to where you're actually, finding people that want to do the business with you. So my advice is, starting out, yes, you want to have some awesome customers that love the products, but don't shy away from sharing the business opportunity, because you never know who, that seed will be planted, and that one day later, even if not right away, they might decide, oh my goodness, I could do this. Like, this could be my way to get home full time, or this could be my way to supplement some income that I really need right now. So you just never know. There's some really great charts that show the income potential, and it kind of breaks it down, and so many resources. So just ask your upline or one of us, and we'll definitely get that to you to check out.
And I'll add, like she said, you can get paid right away, especially with the business building bonuses that get paid out on Friday. So if you start working your business and you add someone on Monday, you're getting paid by that following Friday. So it's really money in your pocket. Whenever I was working as a nurse or at the hospital, we get paid every 2 weeks. And so you have to, you get paid in the rears as far as that goes. And so you are working for all these 2 weeks, and then you get paid, which is great, but then you don't see anything for 2 weeks. And so and getting paid twice a month. Some people only get paid once a month. And so this is a great side gig to be able to fill in that gap financially.
Yes, and everybody has 3 friends that you could help with this, or help, and definitely mention the business too. Everyone has 3 friends, and if you get 3 friends, help them get their 3 friends, then that is duplicatable, and that helps you grow your business, and it helps them grow theirs. So it's like a win-win. There's 3 top ranks in our company: Emerald, Sapphire, and Diamond. with those ranks, you start earning your 6-figure income, your trip to Hawaii, and with a guest, and also your Plexus if you choose to pick the Lexus. Otherwise, there is a lifestyle bonus, which is another fabulous option. So I know they were finding that some families have more than a few kids and they need something bigger, or they might, not want to, they just want to use it elsewhere. So it's a great option to have both. And then too, like dream, like you can just dream big. And I love that. It's one of those things to where, the sky's the limit. Like you can literally just dream. And if you, work hard and you stay focused, you can achieve all your dreams with this.
And it sounds like a Hallmark card, but it really is true.
Right.
It really is. I never thought that I'd be able to retire from nursing. I just thought I'd work till I was, 60, 65 and live off retirement, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I didn't know that there was anything more out there. So it's exciting to think that there could be.
Right, exactly. Lisa's a retired nurse. I'm a retired hygienist. And it really, it does. It's like, it's just, it really is amazing. And the fact that, the average time to reach Emerald is 18 months, and the average time to reach the Diamond rank is 2 years. Some companies, it could take 20 years, and that is, just their average. But with our company, I mean, to reach that sort of goal, but like I said, it's going to take work, hard work, dedication, but it's also going to be really fun. So it'll be worth it.
And
support you, and you have tons of support.
That's right. And just to piggyback off of about your why is, your why can be evolving. Your why right now may not be, I want to get to Hawaii and drive a Lexus and earn 6 figures. Your why right now may be to pay for your kids' braces. Your why right now may be to be able to pay for, that ballet class that your daughter really wants to go to. I say from personal experience, because I was taking the products for 5 weeks and never shared until that 5th week. I said, why aren't I sharing? And I just started sharing, and that was the end of it. And it's kind of an accidental business, but why not share? I share my favorite shoes and my favorite recipes and, things like that. So why not share this, something that's really made an impact in my health and my family's health. And so my first why, we had just bought a new house, and our mortgage was $400 more than our previous mortgage. But the Lord knew that Plexus came into our lives at just the right time, because my first why was, I just need to pay that additional mortgage, that extra mortgage every month. And my first check was just that. And I was just blown away. And then my next why was I want to get my kids out of public school. And we did. And my next why was, I need to get my kids braces, and we did. And so your why can evolve. And then my next why was, I want to retire and be home with my kids full time. If that's what you want to do, I still go back and work as needed, just because I enjoy it, but I don't have to. And so your why may be to retire your husband, or just to give him more options, so your why is definitely evolving, and that's okay.
Yeah, definitely. I'm so glad Lisa shared, and that she started to share the opportunity, because I know she was sharing what the products were doing for her, which, basically changed my whole health. But also the fact that she said from the beginning, look, you can get your products covered. I'm like, really? Like, because I know my husband's not going to want us to have this extra monthly cost, because one of my first whys was to get debt free, and that was like a big goal. And so to be able to achieve that with your why, and knowing exactly what you want to have, what you want this to be, you can. But like she said, always have something to kind of look forward to, and because you're gonna have those days to where you're like, like everyone's saying no, everyone's must not be this must not be for me, and it's like, no, that is not true. That is your head. You can do this. And just getting past that is going to grow you. It's going to mold you. It's going to, help you reach your goal, and you're going to go through those things, but it's only part of the process.
That's right. Just like with anything in life, when you have like a down day, you have an argument with your spouse, and hopefully you don't just throw in the towel after one argument, or you have an argument with your kid, or your boss fusses at you, there's sad days, there's disappointing days, but you have to pick yourself back up and say, okay, why am I doing this? What's going to lead me to go out there and keep sharing? And so, as Christy said, it's your why. It's the goal that you know that you want for yourself and your family, and to keep pressing on.
Yes, exactly. And what your day is gonna look like, and what steps you're gonna use. 3 steps to get you moving forward are gonna be talking to people about Plexus, following up with those people that you have talked to about Plexus, and also teaching others to do the same. Those are our business building skills. And that is something that over time, I mean, you might start off feeling like you're just not doing the best job, or you're not saying the right thing, but you are moving forward. And it's not that you're not saying the right thing. I mean, if you're coming from the heart, it's going to be the right thing to say. It just might not be the right time for them. And that's okay, because you have planted that seed, and that seed could sprout 6 months down the road, or even a year, or 3 years, or 4 years. You never know when the timing is going to be right for the person you're sharing with, but you're coming from the heart. Then, I mean, that's key. It's just, coming from your heart is huge.
Absolutely. Building those relationships. I mean, that's what this is. This is relationship marketing for sure. You don't want to sell anything. You want to offer a solution to a problem that someone has. And that's going to be something that they can relate to. You're a problem solver. That's what we are.
Yes. And how to reach out. There's ways to reach out. You want to make a list. You want to make a list of people, and you want to focus on connecting with people. Not just sitting at home wishing you had people to, who could, you want to think about people, but you want to take action. I love that. Too, before you reach out, go and think about how you can relate to them. Like, think about, okay, like, you don't want to just, like, out of the blue, reach out to someone and know nothing about them. Like, if you're friends with someone, but y'all were really close a while back, you want to at least, like, check out their, page, make sure that you know what's going on in their life before you reach out to them. So making sure it's still out of love. I mean, all this boils down to out of love, because you know what this can do. You've heard what it can do. You know how much this can change people's lives. So it's always coming from the heart. And you can't go wrong when you're coming from the heart.
That's right. And so when she's talking about, finding people that you can connect with, once you have these people that you can connect with, you want to make sure that you are connecting with people and that you are sharing daily, or 5 times, 5 days a week, whatever your work week looks for you. And so what they call that is IPA. So that's income producing activity. And so you want to make sure that you are showing up. That's half the battle, but that's not the whole battle. So if you show up for this training, and you show up for events, and you show up for, corporate calls and things like that, that is fantastic. And you do your power hours, that's awesome to do that, but you have to make sure that you're implementing, that you are connecting with people, that you're building those business, personal relationships, and that whenever you come to a place where you're saying, well, my business isn't growing, then you have to say, well, am I putting in the work? So if your problem can be solved with action, you don't really have a problem. You have an inaction issue.
Yes. And two, like, always be excited when you're reaching out to them. Focus on them and what it will do for them, because it's truly all about them. And like, when you're reaching out to people, keep it a minimum of what you're, you might want to be like, oh, it's done this, this, and this for me. Like, and just always bring up yourself. But like, you have to really sit and think, okay, like, ask them a lot of questions. What can this do for them?
That's right.
What are your health problems? Or, are you going to need medications? Are you feeling your best all the time? And this is after they respond that they're interested. So then you want to just start asking questions to get more information. Oh, and it's fun too to make a dream team list. Mm-hmm. It's so fun, because I know you can think of people that, oh my goodness, they are, they would be so good. They're already, have lots of friends to where they're just they love on people so well. They make one post on Facebook and they get like 100, comments because people love them. They love hearing what they have to say. We can all think of people like that. And so really don't rule anyone out. You might think, oh, well, they're, successful, or they're not going to need this, or, want the money. You don't ever know what people are going through, and you never know. Someone might be wanting something for themselves. You just never know. And two, this opportunity is so crazy amazing. Once they found out what it is and what it's all about, I mean, they could totally, see it for what it is and see how amazing it is and how it could contribute to other things that they have in their life. So it's just, there's so many layers to this that is really cool.
It is. And as far as what Christy said about not making assumptions about people, whether they don't need the money or they don't need the health, when as we go along, and unfortunately some people get divorced, unfortunately some people have health issues, unfortunately things change in their life, and so they know that you are a trusted friend. They know that they've been following you, you've been following up with them, you've been maintaining a relationship with them. Or you never know when you're posting or you're sharing just about your life and how you can add value to others, and there comes a time when a financial or health situation changes in them. They know who to call. They know who to reach out to, because they know that you've been consistent in this. They know that you're not wishy-washy with it. You don't post once every few months, but this is something that you're passionate about. And so they want a trusted source. And also, if someone looks like that they have, tons of money, and they are financially well off, you don't know what they're suffering with health wise, and vice versa. But I would say that even, if you have to pay attention to people's posts, because if they're posting something like, oh, I'm so tired, and, I'm having another sinus infection, or whatever they're posting about, that's a great pain point that you can discuss with them, because that their pain point is whatever they're suffering with. You see them, you're paying attention to that, and that's something you can follow up with them. I know that you've been, really struggling with sinus infections or struggling with sleep. I'd love to share with you what's helped me. Would you be interested in chatting about it? Something as simple as that.
Yeah, that's good. People need to know you care, and that is a way of showing that you care. And always expand your network. You want to constantly build your friends list. I know someone mentioned going through an old yearbook. That's a way to kind of people that maybe you have, you were friends with and you just kind of lost touch with, and you're like, oh my gosh, like I need to find them. And all of this is in a loving way, because you're truly like, you never know who is praying for this, or, like I was, and that it's just going to bless them immensely. So just really always like adding new people, siblings, like, I have a sister, I could start looking at her friend, start remembering to add more of her friends. I heard that recently, and I'm like, that's a good idea. Because they know you. I mean, they don't just know your sister, they know you too. And also like, hygienists, like I could go into hygiene groups. I mean, I still have my license, like, so really, and just interact in these groups that you're in, or if you're like, if you like doing art, or if you like painting, I mean, find a painting group, find different groups, and just don't just, join the group. You've got to interact, and then someone might comment on something, and you could add to it, or you could comment on their, comment, and just interacting. It's all about interacting and meeting new people. And too, they're on social media for a reason. I love that. Like, I mean, there's a reason, it's like you can add people. It's not going to hurt anything. If they don't accept you, that's okay.
That's right. And so not only can you do that online, but you can also do that in person. So look around you and just look at your kids' coaches, your kids' teachers. If you don't have kids, then who do you go to church with? Who do you work out with at the gym? Who's in your neighborhood that you could take a walk with and have a relationship that way? There's your spouse. If you're married, look at your spouse's friends and your spouse's friends' wives, and vice versa if you're a guy. So you have to they're all around us. We just have to look for it, and don't assume someone doesn't want to be your friend. But if they don't accept, like we said, that's okay. You can move on, and that's all right. There's tons of people out there that need what you have to offer for sure.
Yes, exactly.
So after she was talking about connecting with people, and you're building those relationships. So what's the next thing you need to do is follow up. So following up is important, because just because someone doesn't say yes to you the first time, that's okay. There's a very famous example that Sarah Robbins, is that her name? She uses this example about, waitress comes to the table and there's 10 people at the table and she's offering coffee to everybody, and so maybe 5 people will take the coffee, but the other 5 that don't want the coffee, they say no thank you. So the waitress doesn't go back in the back and cry about the people that didn't accept her coffee. They just didn't want it, didn't need it, or they didn't know enough about the coffee, what kind of coffee, what flavor, so the next time that she comes to the table, maybe 10 minutes later, she got offered again, and the people may say, oh yeah, I know, I'd like another cup of, yeah, let's have some coffee now. That's okay. It's not that they're rejecting you. It's just that they either don't know enough, or they aren't ready for the opportunity or the products that you're offering them. But that situation can always change. So sometimes you may just need to educate them a little bit more. We don't want to be pushy. They'll be ready when they're ready, if they're ever ready. And if not, that's all right too. But you need to follow up, because if you're not following up with them, someone else is. And whenever that time comes for them that they need a health answer or a solution to their finances, they're going to go to the person that's been following up with them, or that's been posting consistently, who keeps showing up, and the person that they feel like they can trust the most, so you need to care about them and not the sale, for sure.
Yes, and that's so true. And then too, just so you know, statistically, 99% of people will not join you from the very first connection, like the first contact. So know that you're not a failure if someone you reach out to, is not interested the first time. That's normal. And also, it typically takes 8 to 12 exposures to even have a sale. So, I mean, a lot of times what Lisa was saying, it has to be something that they, the right timing, or they just don't know enough about it. All of that, comes into play. But I mean, you could stay consistent in the beginning with someone with following up, and then drop the ball, and then someone else starts, reaching out to them, and then they're the last one they connected with. So all of that follow up in the beginning, it didn't come to fruition because someone else started taking over that, and so really just staying consistent with that is huge.
It is. And another way that you can follow up is with third-party tools. So if you ever hear this and you think, what in the world is a third-party tool? That's just another way for someone to validate what you're saying. So sometimes it just takes, I don't know if you've ever seen Father of the Bride, whenever the father is telling his daughter, it's cold outside, you need to wear a jacket. And she's like, no, I'm fine. And he's like, no, it's really cold. You need to get your jacket. She's like, no, I'm fine. And then finally her fiance is like, hey, you should get your jacket. It's cold outside. And she's like, oh, really? Okay. So that was the third party validation. Sometimes it just takes a different angle, to share something in a little bit different way for it to hit home with somebody. So some third party tools are, you could send a video. There's corporate videos, like Christy said, YouTube is a great resource. So you can go to plexusworldwide.com, and there is a ton of resources. They're all categorized for you too. There's testimonies there. It's called Because of Plexus. Those are just like a few minute long videos because of Plexus. There's Diamond Docs back there. Those are only like 7 or 8 minutes long. There's product videos. There's a ton on there for testimonies and products. There's online events. You can a way to follow up is saying, hey, I understand you're not quite ready, but would you be willing to check out this online event that we're doing tomorrow night? And just plug them into that, and they can always go back and if they can't watch it live or check it out live, they can always check it out later. And then there's in-person events, which thank goodness we're getting back to that more. So I'm really excited about that. But you need to follow up by asking questions. You need to every once in a while just message them and just say, hey, I thought about you when I saw this testimony about headaches or about, stomach issues, and let them know that you're thinking about them and why it made you think about them. invite them to the events, comment on their posts. That's another way to follow up and to stay engaged, is a comment on their post. Send a sample. There's an Engage app now. Once you share your first link with someone and you sign someone up as a VIP, you can get access to our Engage app. The Engage app is free and it is amazing. It has a lot of really great resources. And so that's another way that you can follow up, or you can just send some samples from your own stash. You don't have to get it from corporate if you don't want, but either corporate can send it for you through that, or you can just use your own stash, or you can follow up by meeting them at a coffee shop and say, hey, I'd love you to try, just Stick a Slim or Active or whatever it is, or the Joyome cream or whatever you have that they need, that they could use. It doesn't have to be, something that is a huge corporate event. You can follow up with someone right at the coffee shop or on a walk in your neighborhood.
Yes, oh, exactly. And also get organized. A lot of these people that you're going to be meeting or reaching out to, you want to make sure that you have a system. Otherwise, they could fall through the cracks. So I know one thing that I have done is have a calendar, like get a big giant calendar. And so you can write whenever you reach out to someone on the calendar, and then you have a set time of how long you're going to wait in between. And then that way you don't miss them. There have been times where if I didn't have people on the calendar, then I would have totally forgotten to check in with them. So a calendar is just an easy way for me, and you might have another system or, find a one that you like better. But a lot of this is just trial and error and just figuring out what works best for you.
That's right. And some people say, how often do I follow up? And well, that will depend on your relationship with the person and what their last response was. If it was just crickets and they didn't say anything, then I would follow up every week or every 2 weeks, and it doesn't have to be the same. Hey, did you, what's your answer? What's your problem? You don't want to say that. Like I said earlier, as far as using third-party validations and videos, and that's just a quick, hey, I thought of you, check this out. But you can also follow up and say, hey, did you get a chance to watch that video? I'd love to hear what you thought about it. Or I'd love to hear if there's anything in that video that you could relate with. People usually like to talk about themselves and to answer about things that they like, take surveys and things like that. So usually they like to follow up with a question, if you can end with a question. But also you can say, hey, you can follow up this way. If they don't, a lot of times if people don't answer me on anything, they'll answer me on this. And that's when, hey, I have some sample I'd love to send you. Can you shoot me your address? They will send me their address every time. And that's another great way to be able to follow up too. And life gets busy, and sometimes people just don't see that you messaged them, or they saw it and they meant to respond and they just didn't. So life gets busy for us, for them too. Don't assume that they're trying to ignore you. Sometimes life just gets busy. So if you want to shoot them some samples, get their address, and that's another great way to do that.
Yes, no, that's an awesome way. I've had the same success with just samples. And like, hey, if I send you a sample, you check out this video too, and they'll check the video out. And so easy way to follow up, always having something, an easy way to reach out, whether it's an event you're inviting people to or a sample, always having them in a funnel and a way to, connect and reconnect. And if you know what they're struggling with, have them have in your back pocket like a testimony, or like, wait a few days. I thought of you when I saw this testimony. Like, just always, you're always thinking about them. So in a loving way, you're always trying to connect. But don't forget about social media is amazing, especially when you're getting started. Don't hesitate to start sharing on social media right away. You do not need to have a huge testimony. In fact, don't. It's better if you don't. Like, you want to start sharing right away because you're excited, and it's a great way to get people to do this with you and like start sharing, like, hey, this has helped my friend such and such, just help do this for her. Like, who wants to join me in this? And there's so many easy ways to get started, and there's so many resources. And like Lisa was saying, there's so many trainings on everything. So even a first post, like, we have examples, and you definitely want to make it your own, but don't wait, because it's really fun to start sharing your journey, because people are following you and they might not comment or like your post, but they are watching you.
That's right. And whenever she said, don't wait to post, I wish that I'd followed that advice, but I didn't think that I needed this business. I didn't think I wanted it, and I was not right. But I like to use the example when someone says, well, I want to wait for my own testimony. I like to use the example of, well, when I worked at the hospital or even in the doctor's office, we have pharmaceutical reps, and you'll have these male pharmaceutical reps that are selling estrogen cream. Well, we all know estrogen cream is for women or female products or whatever it is, but these are men reps that are pushing the female products. So he certainly didn't say to his boss, hey, I'm going to wait till I have my own results before I go out and I sell these products. Of course not. So these guys, they take the testimonies of other people, they train themselves on the products, they train themselves on the statistics, they train themselves on the results. And that's what they go out to the hospitals and to the doctor's offices. And that's whenever they can, come to these people and say, of course, I don't have my own testimony, but these are the testimonies of these people, and this is the results that they've had, and this is the cost point, but it's valuable for them. So that's why it's so important that you're able to not wait for your own results, because you may have a result. My results that I was waiting for was stomach issues and sinus infections and not being able to sleep at night, but that wasn't necessarily Christy's results. And so if I'd waited until I got the results Christy needed for myself, I would have never posted. So if you're not going to always have the result that someone's looking for, you have your own results. And so if you start sharing about your results, that's going to open up the door to somebody else that is looking for a different health answer. So start posting, and no one ever has the same testimony. You're not always going to be able to solve all of someone's problems, and you're not going to have that same result for yourself. So share your results, share what you're looking for. But in the meantime, share my testimony, share Christy's testimony, because there's somebody out there that that has that pain point, that they need to hear our testimonies. And there's a ton on the team pages. There's a ton out there on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram. So find those testimonies until you have your own to share.
Yes, that's so good. That's so true. I'm glad she did not wait. Like once she did started sharing, because actually I was watching Lisa and another girl post and share, but I knew Lisa better, and so I knew her character and I knew her background. So I was thankful that she was consistent, because I kept seeing her share too. And anyway, so I reached out. And another thing is there's best times to share. Early, what times would you say were the best, Lisa?
Basically for people, whether you're working or whether you're not working, if you're a stay-at-home mom, usually nap time is good for that crowd. You have to figure out who your audience is and who you're talking to. So if you're going to post during nap time, which is, either mid-morning or mid-afternoon, you're not going to necessarily post about something that would be more relatable to someone who's working all the time. You know what I mean? So someone who's working all the time, you would post something about either first thing in the morning or, after the kids go to bed in the evening, because someone that works a full day, they come home and they're busy with the kids and dinner and things like that. So they're not going to be on social media during those times. A stay-at-home mom, she may be on social media during nap time. And so you would want to post mid-morning or mid-afternoon for them. And the post that it would need to be is related to your audience, which is going to be someone that is able to stay at home. And so it may be something about, not needing naps during the day, or not feeling tired so much, or having the energy to go out and run with your kids around on the playground. So you have to think about what time of day and who your audience is that you're posting to.
That's good. That's so true. Also, you want to stay positive, and you also want to think of, sharing healthy choices, because this is health and wellness. So you just want to make sure that you're staying in line with what you're sharing to begin with. So definitely stay away from drama, stay away from, things that would not be so good towards, your business. But also thinking about things that, pick 5 things that, you relate to, as far as like, what, like soccer or pets or whatever, your life is geared toward, and you'll attract people that have the same interests as you.
That's right. And something else as far as about posting is make sure that it's best if you can be as vulnerable as possible. So people want to see you, people want to see the real you. If you think about it behind the scenes almost, I don't remember what year it was, but I think that the first reality TV was Survivor, I think. Is that right? Do you know, Christy? And that was like 20 years ago, I think. And so that was like TV's first reality TV show, and people loved it. Why? Because we're all nosy. We want to know what's going on behind the scenes. And that was a non-scripted, well, I don't know if it is now, but it was a non-scripted show, and it was just real life, and people were raw and vulnerable. And so that was such a relatable point. I think that was why that show was so successful. So if you can be, I mean, we don't want you to share your drama. No, don't be that vulnerable and raw. However, in a tasteful way, you can share things that you're struggling with that someone else may be struggling with too. And if they can relate to you on that, then that is something that is a way that you're going to be able to add value to them. Because they see that you're struggling with it too. So be real. Don't always feel like you have to have makeup on and earrings and your hair just right. You can just throw on a hat and throw on some sunglasses and go outside and talk to your people and share and make a post with that. But it's really important, if you can, to be real and vulnerable in a tasteful way. And then when someone comments on your post, you're like, oh my goodness, what do I do? They're commenting on my post. Fantastic. Put them in a 3-way chat with me or with Christy or a 4-way chat with all 4 of us. And then you can see how they comment to the questions that your potential has, and then you can see how they're answering it. So after a few times of you doing this, you're going to be able to do this yourself. You know, when someone comments, that's a way that you're going to be able to well, I know what Christy and Lisa said last time, so I know how to follow up. I know how to answer these questions. And you know what? You can still ask us at any time for resources. We love to be that extra validation for you. You don't have to know all of this immediately. There's still questions that Christy and I have that we still need to go to other people for help, sidelines, uplines, whatever it is. So never wonder if you can come to us for help and for resources. You want to make sure you keep your post personal, no graphics, please. You want to make sure that your pictures are clear. You want to make sure that your pictures tell a story. Whenever someone looks at your timeline, are they just a bunch of graphics or pictures of just the trees? Or are they telling a story about your life, your interests, your family, what you're passionate about? And then like Christy said, promote a healthy lifestyle for sure. We don't want to be posting about how we can get healthy and then we're posting about Dunkin' Donuts all the time. So it's balance. You can have some pizza and donuts, right? But that shouldn't be every food post that you make.
Right, exactly. Because if you're drinking your water and you're taking your products and you're moving your body, you won't be craving this stuff. But also, I wanted to add the help center is like my best friend. Like, I love the help center because you can type in keywords in our back office under help center and it literally will pull up all the information. It's amazing.
And they have a live chat. If you need to talk to someone in real time, they have a live chat. And I've never waited more than just a few minutes, you know, and they're so helpful. Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's so good. And two, I did want to mention, you know, if you work this business like a hobby, you will get paid as a, you know, like it's a hobby, but if you work it as a full-time business, you will definitely reap the benefits and you will see that. So definitely take that in consideration that, you know, there's things that are, you know, income producing and there's things that are not. So just scrolling through Facebook is not going to help you reach your goal. Listening to a training is not income producing activity. Yes, it could help you with your business, but it is not something that's going to move your business forward. Which I love trainings. One thing I did a lot when I first got started was YouTube's. Like, I love YouTube's. Like, you can sit and you can, you know, do laundry, you can wash dishes, you can just listen in the car. And now I know Lisa and I were talking about there's great podcasts now too. But I mean, there's always been great books that we started off with. I know Rock Your Network Marketing Business with Sarah Robbins was one of my favorite books to get started. Go Pro with Eric Worre. What are some of your favorites, Lisa?
Anything by John Maxwell, I would say. And is it Millionaire by Halftime, I think, by Dale Carnegie? Is that who wrote that? So there's a lot out there. And if you have any, if you want to kind of be steered in a right direction for you, ask your sponsor or ask us and we'll be happy to give you some suggestions where to get started. Or you can listen online. There's Audible, and you can listen online to books driving in the car or doing laundry or making dinner or taking a walk. but to constantly be feeding your mind with positive ways of how to be a leader in your community, a leader in your church, a leader in your family, a leader in your school, a leader with your kids' friends. Someone's always looking for a mentor, and you could be that for someone.
Yes, and don't be afraid to wear swag. Wear your Plexus proud.
That's right.
Because how you present yourself with your business is how others are going to perceive it. If you're hiding and you're not proudly showing or posting consistently, then people get that. They're like, well, I guess they're not that excited about it, or I guess it's not really legit. So be proud and bold.
That's right. Don't be embarrassed about it, for sure. So let's talk about events. We already talked about that there's ways to go into some online events, and then there's some in-person events. One of the things, I don't know if I shared this earlier, but I think in the spring that they will start doing those health and happiness tours, and they will come to a town near you, drive to it, bring a friend or two. One of the great things about the live events is that you're able to just feel that energy. You're able to see in person and hug and talk to other people that have the same passions that you do, that have the same interests as you do, that have the same goals as you do. And this community that this company offers is that this brand offers is so huge. It is faith-filled. If you're looking for someone to link arms with, this is a fantastic community to do that with. But the events don't always have to be like a big corporate event. Like I said, you could share. I mean, you can have like a sip and see, or some kind of opportunity event, or whatever you want to call it, in your kitchen, around your kitchen table, around your living room. Coffee table, go to a coffee shop, go to the park. And, as your kids are playing, you could talk to their mom on the park bench. I think, Christy, you actually have been able, at the last place that you lived, I think that you had taken some walks and gone in some parks with some friends. And so I think that's a great way to connect. But don't think that because if you're not able to show up to a live event, that the online events aren't worth it. If something's not being offered near you, then you create your own event. You don't even have to have your upline or sidelines around you. You create it, and you can even live stream your upline into that. They can talk to people that are there, or they could do a video for you. Another way to do events is through Messenger. So we have like a 15-minute Messenger event that you can do. It's really simple. You could ask Christy or I about the details of that. Plug your people in to a quick 15-minute Messenger event, and just kind of shoot some kind of rapid fire, going through testimonies and going through some information about our main products. And that's just a great quick way. And we would do all the work for you, until you're able to feel comfortable to do them yourself. But we have product events, we have business opportunity, financial events, and the sky's the limit, really, and you can get really creative with it. So that's another way that you can do those events. Some other events are Super Saturday that's coming up next Saturday, actually. There's Leaders Retreat. There's convention. Anybody can go to convention. So get your people there. Look, I know sometimes it's far, and I know that sometimes, it's going to cost money to travel, and things like that, or for, lodging. But when you know about it a year in advance, or 6 months in advance, that way you can start budgeting, because it's really going to help you see the vision. Is the convention going to do the work for you? No. Is Super Saturday going to do the work for you? No. But it's able to expand on what you see as the reality of what you're able to do with this business and with these products, because we wouldn't have a business without the products, without the health testimonies. And so you're able to hear the people's testimonies, what's worked in their life. You get lots of good information, resources, feedback. You can network with other people for their sidelines, and then you can ask them, hey, can you share, can you record a quick 1-minute testimony, and then I can use that on my my 15-minute Messenger event, and then you can do the same for them. So I love networking that way. And we're friends, we don't backstab. We're not, when someone else meets a rank, we're happy for them and we encourage them. That's what we do here. And we love whenever we see other people succeed. And that to me is such a driving force, that I know that I have so many people, sisters and brothers, that are in the same boat with me, that they are paddling with me. And we're doing this together. So we want to make a difference in the lives of others. And so that's what it's all about. So as far as events go, how do you invite? So you want to invite them. If you know them well enough that you have their phone number in your phone, invite them, call them on the phone and invite them, or text them. If they're working or whatever, and say, hey, let's chat. I want to invite you to something. I'd love you to join us for this event because, whatever it is, whether it's for finance or whether it's for health or whatever, let them know that you see them, that you hear them. I know that you're struggling with this. I'd love you to check this out. I'd love to see if this would help you or not. You can also, for whether it's online or whether it's in person, you can offer incentives. You can offer like a door prize, whatever that is. You can offer an incentive of like, hey, anybody that signs up tonight, the first 3 people that sign up, I'll pay for their free membership. And right now it's only $9.95. So for the VIP, so you could cover that if that's within your budget. You could offer a free sample of whatever product you have: Slim, Hydrate, Active, Mega Kids. Whatever you have. Joyome samples, body creams. There's so many samples, lean shakes, so and what Christy had said earlier, you have to play the numbers game. So you have to invite more people than you assume will show up. So only about 10% of people typically will show up to whatever event that you're having, because things come up, life, work, kids, whatever it is, they just don't feel like driving or whatever it is. And then that's something, I have my first event. I've only been doing the business for not very long, a few months. And my sponsor showed up, and then one other girl. That was it. But you know what? That was fine. We had a great time together, and we shared, and it was a learning experience. And you learn how to tweak things and maybe do things a little different if you need to, as far as what day you're offering the event, what time. You have to meet people where they are. Again, I love the coffee shop. I love that. That is an event that you can have right then and there. But make sure that you make it stress-free. Come as you are. I'm having this thing from 6 to 8. I'd love you to drop in and just hang out and have some snacks. Easy peasy. But also you want to make sure that you're being consistent. So people are skeptical. They are watching you, even if they never like or comment on your post. They are watching you. They're not saying anything because they're skeptical. So you have to make sure that you believe in this and that you're consistent. And until you have enough belief, you can borrow our belief. You can borrow Christy's belief, because we have belief in these products and in this company. And so that's what's going to help you. If once you find that belief and you're watching those Diamond Doc videos and you're watching them because of Plexus, you're going to build your own belief even before you have your own results, because you see the belief that we have and the results that we have. So that'll get you to, you're able to have your own results and have your own belief. But be consistent whenever you're posting. Be consistent when you're reaching out. Be consistent whenever you're, like Christy said, wearing your swag to the soccer game and you have your Plexus cup. I have this cup, Gut Health for Life. It's just a simple, I love the color and everything about this cup, but the fact that it has that little thing, that's just a great conversation starter sometimes. Gut Health, what is that about? I see you drinking this pink drink. What is it about? And sometimes it can be, if anything else, curiosity, because they see you drinking that pink drink or your orange drink or whatever it is, color, purple hydrate, whatever it is. And they're just like, what are you doing? Because we're all nosy. We want to know what other people are doing. So be consistent in that. Like you said, do not be embarrassed, be bold. We have something that people need. So be consistent with that. So be consistent with sharing, be consistent with your training. Like Christy said, that's, training it's awesome and the events are awesome, but you have to put the work in. You have to put it into action, what you've learned. So make sure that you're always adding value to people. Make sure that whenever you think about working this business, you don't have to think about working all day. Like if you're a stay-at-home mom or stay-at-home dad or stay-at-home college, well, not stay-at-home college student, but whatever, really college student, you don't have to work this thing all day. That's the beauty of it. But you do need to work a little every day. That means consistency. Just like when you go to the gym, you can't go to the gym once a week and then the next week you go 4 times a week and then you don't go for a month. And then, so you're not being consistent. Yeah, you're going, but you're not consistent. So are you going to see the results? Absolutely not. You have to be consistent. It's that effort that you put in consistently, that little bit of effort every day or 5 days a week, or if you work during the week and you can only put in that effort during the weekend, that's fine too. But be consistent with that every weekend post, every work week, whatever that looks like for you. Figure out what is manageable for you and what you're able to do realistically. But don't sit on the sidelines and say, well, if I can't work my business, 2 hours a day, I'm just not going to work it at all. That's baloney. You can work it in the car line. You can work it while you're waiting for your dinner to cook in the oven or whatever. You can work it sitting outside watching your kids play. That's the beauty of this. It's so flexible. But like Christy said, if you work it like a hobby, you're going to get paid like a hobby.
No, I love great tips.
And I also want to talk just real quick about, let's see. Well, we can end on this. So find things that are practical for you to do. Find goals that are attainable, but not necessarily easy. This business is not easy, but it is simple. So find those simple things that you can accomplish, but you want to make sure that you're kind of always out of your comfort zone a little bit, because I think that's something that pushes us to greater things. If this business was easy, everybody would do it, but it's simple, right? So you can reach those goals. Anyone can reach those goals, but not everybody can do this business because they're not willing to put in the work. Does that make sense? So link arms, get into action, be consistent, do the work. What other tidbits do you have?
No, a lot of it is just, like you can't pour from an empty cup. So really digging into trainings and then getting to work, because if you're not working, you will lose your steam. Like it's the actual action steps that are going to keep you motivated and keep you excited, because you're going to get good feedback. You're going to have maybe, 10 people that you're reaching out to, but you're going to have that one that is so excited and they cannot wait to feel better. And then you help them feel better. And then they're like, oh my gosh, I'm going to do the business. So you just never know. But I mean, just staying consistent and just digging in and having your why and moving forward is just, you're going to move mountains.
That's right. And we're here for you. Anything that you need, we are here. We're here to link arms with you, and we're excited that you're here, and let's go get it.
Yes.
Bye, guys.
Bye.